P6 red swastika, class test 2. This is for 2023. The use of calculators will not be allowed for this paper. Let's look at question 1. The number of red apples to the number of green apples in the basket is 2 to 5. What fraction of all the apples in the basket are red? So first, let's write down the ratio. We have red to green, 2 to 5. What fraction of all the apples are red? So we need to find the total. Total, we add up the units, we get 7 units. So what fraction is it? Red over the total, so 2 over 7. The answer is number 3. Question 2. The usual price of a book is $18. During a sale, there was a 10% discount. Find the discount given. Okay, so what we are finding now is 10%. And since $18 is the usual price, $18 is 100%. Okay, so to find 10% of $18, I'll take 18 over 100 times 18. So 18 divided by 10, 18 over 10. 18 over 10 is $1.80. Just shift the decimal place one time. Okay, from the back, you shift it one time here. So answer is 1. So we're finding the discount, not the discounted price. Question number 3. In a group of 70 children, 42 of them wore glasses. What percentage of the children do not wear glasses? So they have given us a number of students who wore glasses. To find those that do not wear, we have to take the total minus 42. Okay, so we know that 28 of them do not wear glasses. We have to change, we have to find the percentage. Okay, so let's find the fraction first. So this is 28 out of 70. To change it to percentage, we times 100. Okay, so we simplify 28 and 70. You can both divide by, or you can cancel the 0 first with the 100. So 28 divided by 7. So give us 4 over 1. So this is 40%. Okay, so this is number 2. Question 4, figure below shows a circle with center O. Which of the following shows the correct way to find the area of the circle? So to find area of a circle, it's pi times radius. So what we need to figure out is where are the radiuses. So I'll highlight all the radius. All the radius will pass through the center of the circle, right? It will touch the center of the circle. So anything with O will be the part of the radius, like OB, OA, as well as OC. So you are supposed to look for an answer that uses the radius. And how do you know the radius is part of the expression given? You look for those that has O. Okay, so over here, the only one that has both with O, right, will be number 4. So OA and OC are the radius. So find the area using pi times r. That is option 4. Okay, everything else, AD is not a radius because it's not passing through O. AD no. Then AC is the diameter, so also wrong as well. Okay, so that's how you identify the radius. For number 5, find the perimeter of the quarter circle. Now take note for this type of diagram, right? One common error is students may forget to add the straight lines at the end. Okay, so don't forget formula for circumference. We're using circumference of a circle, pi times diameter. So we need to know what's the diameter. 10 meters is the radius, so 10 times 2. Okay, so use 20 meters as the diameter. And since this is a quarter circle, we take 1/4 times pi, which is 3.14, times the diameter. Right, no calculators. So what we can do is 1/4 of 20 is 5. So 5 times 3.14. Then you do your working. 4 times 5, 20. 1 times 5 is 5 plus 2, 7. 3 times 5, 15. Okay, so 15.7. And whenever you're using the formula, right, like we are in this case, then this is actually the arc. So the arc is the curved part. Okay, so that's 15.7. We haven't found the full perimeter yet. So you have to add the straight lines, 15.7 plus 10 plus 10. This will give us 35.7. Okay, so it's option 2. Question 6. Mr. Ng spent 80% of his money on a laptop and had $1,200 left. How much did Mr. Ng spend on the laptop? So he spent 80% of his money. Whatever that is left is a 20%. Okay, so we know 20% of his money is $1,200. What did he spend on the laptop? He spent 80%. So we are finding 80%. So from 20, how do you get to 80? We will multiply by 4. So you just take 1,200 times 4. So $4,800 is the answer, option 3. Question 7. A box contains beads of 3 different colors. 1/4 of the beads are black. The ratio of the number of yellow beads to the green beads is 1 to 5. What is the ratio of the number of black beads to yellow beads to green beads in the simplest form? Okay, let's use ratio for 1/4. If they say that 1/4 of them are black, and if we write down the ratio 1 to 4, 1 is referring to the black beads, 4 is referring to the total. Okay, so we have our first ratio, and in the second ratio, yellow to green, which is 1 to 5. This is given in the question. Now, when we have more than one set of ratio, we need to find common base, right? So the only thing that is common between these two ratios will be the total of yellow and green. Yellow and green in this ratio, I can just add them up. Okay, yellow and green, which is 6. Over here, to get yellow and green, I will use the total and take away the black beads. So this will give us 3 units. So since yellow plus green is the common base, we have to make it the same. So here, I will multiply this ratio by 2. Now, what is the ratio of black to yellow to green? And only after I've made the common base the same, I can write down the combined ratio. Black is 2, yellow is 1, green is 5. 2 to 1 to 5, so option 2. Question 8. Penny wanted to mix red and blue paint to make purple paint. The ratio of the amount of red paint used to the amount of blue paint used was 3 to 4. Penny used 120 liters of red paint. How much purple paint did she make? Okay, so red to blue is 3 to 4. So you're going to mix red and blue together to get purple, right? And the amount of red paint that she used is given, which is 120 liters. So 3 units is 120 liters. 1 unit divided by 3, we get 40 liters. Next, how much purple paint did she make? Okay, so the purple paint will be made up of red and blue. So you're going to mix all of them up, and a total of 7 units will be the purple paint. So 7 times 40. 280 liters is the answer, so option 4. Question 9, the figure is made up of 2 semicircles. AB, BC, CD, and DE are equal. Find the area of the unshaded part. Okay, so to find the area of the unshaded part, you have learned how to find the area of a semicircle, right? So to find the unshaded part, we will take the bigger semicircle minus the smaller semicircle. So to find the area of circles, we're using this formula, pi times radius times radius. So to find the area of each semicircle, I will need to know what is the radius. So CE, which is the radius of the bigger semicircle, will be 28 divided by 2. Okay, so now that I have the radius of the bigger semicircle, let's find the area of that. So the big semicircle will be half times pi, which is 22/7, times radius, times radius. So without calculator, if you can simplify first, okay? So 2 and what shall we simplify? Okay, the 22. This is 11. Then next, 7 and 14 can be simplified. This will be 2. So 11 times 2 times 14. 11 times 2 is 22. So let's do the working. 22 times 14. 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 1. 308. So the big semicircle has an area of 308 square cm. Now let's move on to the smaller semicircle. Again, I need to know what is the radius. So the radius is actually half of CE. So now we'll take 14 divided by 2 instead. Which is 7. Okay, how do I know it's half of 14? Because in the question they said that this is equal to this, which is equal to this and this. Okay, so 14 here, divided by 2. I get CD, which is the radius of the smaller semicircle. So let's find the area. Again, don't forget your half. Okay, half times pi times radius times radius. So simplify as much as you can. And you end up with 11 times 7, so 77. Now I can find the area of the unshaded part by taking the big semicircle minus the small semicircle. Is 231 square cm. So answer 2. Question 10, figure below shows a circle and 2 squares. So this is the big square and then this is the smaller one. One side of the larger square is 20 cm. Find the area of the shaded parts in terms of pi. Okay, so to find the shaded parts, is actually a circle minus away the smaller square. All right, so there are 2 things we need to find. Area of the smaller square, area of the circle. Let's look at the circle first. To find area of a circle, you need radius, because the formula is pi times r times r. So the radius of the circle is 20 divided by 2, which is 10. So this is the center, this is 10. Okay, radius is 10, so area of the circle will be pi times radius times radius. Keep the pi there. So we do 10 times 10, which is 100. 100 pi. That's the radius. Sorry, that's the area. That's the area of the circle. Next, the area of the smaller square. There's a few ways you can find the area of the smaller square. I'm going to show you one of the ways. So if I were to split this square into two triangles, right? If I want to find the top triangle, half times base times height. Base is 20. So half times 20 times 10. Half of 20 is 10. 10 times 10 is 100. So this is only one half of the square, the triangle here. To find the square, you need 2 times 2. Area of a smaller square. So 100 times 2. So shaded area will be the circle minus the square. Okay, look for this. The answer is option 4. The other way to find the square is you can take 20 times 20 to find the whole square. Then you cut the big square up into, you draw these two lines and you end up with 8 triangles, right? The smaller square is occupying 4 out of the 8 triangles, which means that it's half the area of the big square. The smaller square occupies 4 small triangles out of 8 small triangles. So the smaller square has an area that is half the area of the bigger square. That's the other way to find the area of the square. Question 11. Pete scored a total of 90 marks for his math test in October. This was a 20% increase from the marks he scored for his test in May. How many marks did he score for his math test in May? So we're comparing October versus May. October is 90 marks. How many percent is this? So let's read on. There is a 20% increase from the marks he scored in May. So if we're comparing against May, May is 100%. So this means that October, since it's a 20% increase, it's 120%. Okay, so please do not be mistaken. October is not 100, May is not 80%. Okay, the May is what you're comparing against. So May has to be the base, which is 100%. So I've got 90. 90 is for October. So 120% is 90. I want to find May, which is 100%. So what I'll do is I'll find 1%. Now, it's a bit hard to do 90 divided by 120 without a calculator, but this is what I'll do. 90 over 120. Simplify until you get the simplest form, which is 3/4. Okay, so now I use this 3/4 to find 100%. This will be much easier. 3/4 of 100 is 75. So answer 75 marks in May. Alternatively, you can find 20%, then you find 100, or you can find 10% and then you find 100. Okay, whichever way works for you. So without calculator, you can leave your steps here as a fraction, which will be easier. Question 12. A baker baked 30 curry buns and some kaya buns in the morning. After selling 5 curry buns and 30% of the kaya buns, she had a total of 67 buns left. How many kaya buns did the baker bake? Okay, so firstly, we started off with 30 curry buns. Okay, not 30 curry buns and kaya buns, but just 30 curry buns. Some kaya buns, which we don't know. Oops. Okay, so let's focus on what we know first, which is the 30 curry buns. Then after selling 5 curry buns. So we take 30 minus 5 to find the curry buns in the end. Okay, so this is what we start off with, which is the number of curry buns in the end. And we know that the total number of buns in the end is 67. So I can use the total minus away the curry buns to find how many kaya buns are there in the end. So 67 minus 25, this will be 42. So this 42 is the number of kaya buns in the end, for which this is after 30% of the kaya buns were sold. So this has to be 70%. Because after selling 30%, you're left with 70%, right? This is of all the kaya buns. How many kaya buns did the baker bake? So we're trying to find at first, which is like 100%. So without a calculator, it'd be easier to find 10%, then followed by 100%. Okay, so to find 10%, we'll take 42 divided by 7. Then from 10% to 100%, take note not to multiply by 100, but to multiply by 10. Okay, so that's the number of kaya buns at first. Question 13. Timothy had a piece of cardboard in the shape of a quarter circle. He cut out a smaller quarter circle from the cardboard as shown below. Find the perimeter of the remaining piece of cardboard. Now, the remaining piece of cardboard is made up of an arc from the quarter circle. And then you have 20. And also another 20, which is not the straight line, but not one straight line, but this plus this plus this. Okay, that's a total of 20. Because this 10 is the same as this. So the yellow one adds up to 20. Okay, so the arc of the big quarter circle plus 20 plus 20 and plus the arc of the smaller quarter circle. So two things are unknown: arc of the bigger quarter circle, and the arc of the smaller quarter circle. So let's find these two things. To find the arc of the bigger quarter circle, I need to use diameter, because it's pi times diameter. What's the diameter? 20 is the radius. So the diameter has to be 20 times 2. Now we find the arc of the bigger one, bigger quarter circle. So quarter circle is 1/4. Pi is 3.14. Diameter is 40. So I can simplify. I can take 1/4 times 40 first, which is 10. Right? If I simplify it this way, 10 times 3.14 is 31.4. So this arc, okay, 3.14, sorry, 31.4 is the arc. Now let's find the arc of the smaller quarter circle. So again, I need the diameter. 10 is the radius, so 10 times 2. This is the diameter. Now, 1/4 times pi times 20. So a quarter of 20 is 5. A quarter of 20 is 5. So take 5 times 3.14. And, okay. So 4 times 5, 20. Bring over 2. Decimal, put it back. 1 times 5 is 5 plus 2 is 7. Lastly, 3 times 5 is 15. So oh no, hold on, it's not 31.4. So let's shift the decimal. 3.14, so 15.7. Okay, so now let's just add them up. Perimeter will be the big arc plus the small arc plus 20, the yellow lines, and plus another 20, this straight line. So how much would we get? Okay, so this 2 is going to give me 47.1. Add another 40 will be 87.1. So answer 87.1 cm. Question 14. ABCD is a square, the shaded parts X. Okay, if you can't see, right, this is X. Then the right angled triangle Y have corners lying on either sides of square ABCD or on line BD. Okay, so the sides are either the sides of X or the corner of this triangle is lying on BD. Okay, what's the ratio of the area of square X to the area of square Y? Now, let's look at X first. What I can do is I can cut this. Okay, cut it this way. Okay, so you can actually cut it into smaller squares. So with that, let's look at triangle ABD first, okay? Triangle ABD. Triangle ABD, the ratio of the shaded part to the whole area of ABD is how much? The area of the shaded part is X, right? X to the whole of triangle ABD. So you count the triangles. The shaded part has 4 triangles. The whole triangle has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So X is 4. ABD is 9. Now look at the other triangle, BCD. The area of Y to triangle BCD, how much is it? So this half of the square is being cut up into 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 triangles, okay? So the whole thing is the whole thing is 4. Y occupies 1 triangle, so 1 to 4. The shaded to the total. Next, you look at these 2 ratios. What is the common base? So triangle ABD is actually the same as triangle BCD because this is a square that's being cut into half, right? So ABD is the same as BCD. So change it to common multiple, 36. Here, multiply by 4. The other side, multiply by 9. So what's the ratio of X to Y? 16 to 9. Question 15. After a discount of 20%, the price of an electric iron is $160. shoppers who pay by cash are given an additional discount of $10. What is the total percentage discount given to shoppers who paid by cash for the electric iron? So first, $160 is the price after a 20% discount, right? So anything after a 20% discount means that it is at 80%. So 80% of the original price is $160. So, okay, for this question, if you want to find percentage discount, right, you have to find two things. One is the discount, the other discount over original times 100%. Okay, this is the formula that we will be using. So there are two things we need to find. What is the amount of discount and what is the original price? Let's find out what is the original price first. Okay, original price is at 100%. So from 80, how do I go to 100? Let's find 10%. So we divide by 8, $20. So original price, which is 100%, here you times 10. So $20 times 10 is $200. Okay, I found my original price. Next thing I need to find, what is the discount? Discount is 20%. So $20 times 2. So if you don't pay by cash, you're going to get a $40 discount, right? But if you pay by cash, you can get an additional $10 discount. So the total discount that you are getting is 40 plus 10. Not minus, okay? Because you are getting more discount. So your discount, original discount, $40. Now you're not just saving 40, but you're saving $10 more. So total discount is $50. Using this formula, so the percentage discount will be 50 over original times 100%. All right, so you can simplify and multiply. This is 2. This is 1. So 50 over 2, 25%. Question 16. 16, if your diagram is missing A and B, this is where A and B is supposed to be. So the figure below is made up of a semicircle and a right-angled triangle. The diameter of the semicircle is 14 cm. The area of the shaded region here is 16 square cm. Find the area of the shaded region B. So this one is 16. Okay, so to find B, I will need to know the semicircle. Then I minus off the unshaded part. Okay, but unshaded part, I'm not given the information yet. But to find the unshaded part, I can find the triangle minus 16. So let's find the area of the semicircle first. So semicircle, radius is 7. So 14 divided by 2. So why are we using radius? Because the formula of an area of circle is this, pi times radius times radius. So area of semicircle half times pi times radius times radius. Simplify. This will give us 77. Okay, area of the semicircle is 77. Next, I need to find area of the triangle. Half times base times height. So half times 14 times 8. Half of 14 is 7. 7 times 8 is 56. So the unshaded part is 56 square cm minus 16 square cm. Which is 40 square cm. Now let's find B. So to find B, we will take 77, which is the semicircle, minus the unshaded part. So you end off with 37 square cm. Next, question 17. There is an equal number of students in the robotics club and the art club. There are 40 more boys than girls in the robotics club. There are 20 more girls than boys in the art club. 55% of all the students in the robotics club and art club are boys. How many girls are there in both the clubs? All right, so firstly, robotics and art club has equal number of students. Let's just record this down. Robotics to art club. For the total, 1-to-1, equal. There are 40 more boys and girls in the robotics club. We're given difference. Let's draw a model. So under robotics, boys versus the girls. There are 40 more boys. Then in the art club, there are 20 more girls than boys. Okay. This time girls has more than boys by 20. Now, if you take a look at these two models, how are they related? Now, the total is supposed to be the same. So what I'm going to do is I will make sure all the quantity is the same in the two models. So what do I mean by that? Here I have 40, here I have 20. I should make another 20 appear in this model. But I can't add on. Okay, you cannot change this model by adding or taking away. How do I get extra 20? So I will do this. There's a 10. There's a 10. Okay, so I've differentiated 40 from this model. And now this one has 40, this one has 40, right? So whatever that is left, they are units. So this is 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit. What is the total here? Total here is 2 units plus 40. What is the total here? Total here is also 2 units plus 40. Okay, so I can compare them easily like that now because the total is supposed to be the same. All right, 55 of all the students in both clubs are boys. So let's find out what is this number of boys in terms of units. So boys for robotics plus art. Boys, which is the 55%. Robotics is 1U plus 40. Then we add the boys in the art club, 1U plus 10. This will give us 2U plus 50. Now let's do the same for girls. Girls will be the remaining 45%. So according to the model, we have 1 unit plus 1 unit and 30. This gives us 2 units plus 30. Now we compare. What can we find? If we compare the percentage, it's a difference of 10%, right? If we compare this part here, the units are the same, but 2u plus 50 versus 2u plus 30, the difference is 20. Okay, we want to find the difference. So what can I say? I can say that 10% is actually 20 because 50 minus 30 is 20. How many girls are there? Girls, 45%. So that's what we want to find. Okay, so let's find 1% first. So divide by 10, which is 2. 45% will be 45 times 2, which is 90. So that's the answer. 90 girls in both the clubs. Part B, how many girls are there in the robotics club? So we know that the number of girls is 2 units plus 30, which is 90, right? Number of girls in the robotics club is 1 unit. So if you can find 1 unit, that is your answer. So to find 2 units, 90 minus 30. So 1 unit is 60 divided by 2. Okay, so 1 unit is the answer because the number of girls in the robotics club is only 1 unit. Question 18. A quarter of a piece of a circular colored paper had been cut out as shown below. The remaining piece of colored paper, which is this shaded part, was then folded to form a lampshade without overlapping. What is the area of the lampshade in terms of pi? So in other words, what is the area of this piece of colored paper, this shaded part? What is the area of the shaded part? So this shaded part is actually 3/4. There's a bigger 3/4 of a circle minus away a smaller 3/4 of a circle. Okay. So if I cut it this way, so basically this big 3/4 of a circle is what we need to find, minus away this part here. Okay, so the yellow part minus the pink part. So the yellow part, we have to use area of circle. So pi times r. We need the radius. Okay, what's the radius? Look at this. This is 10, right? The width of the shaded part is 10. So this must also be 10. Radius of this big 3/4 circle will be half of 20. This portion here, then plus 10. So half of 20. Then the radius of big 3/4 circle. will be 10 plus 10. This here. So the area of the big 3/4 circle is 3/4 times, in terms of pi, okay, so pi is, you use the symbol pi, times radius times radius. 3/4, okay, this is 400. 20 times 20 is 400. 3/4 of 400 is 300. So 300 pi. Now we need to find the pink part, the smaller 3/4 circle. What's the radius? Radius is 10. The area of the small 3/4 circle. Remember, radius is 10, so 3/4 times pi times 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100. 3/4 of 100 is 75. So 75 pi. Okay, so last step, how do you find the area of the shaded part? So the big quarter circle, the yellow one, minus the pink one. So 300 pi minus 75 pi. This will give us 225 pi. Remember to write your units, 225 pi. Pi is not the units, Units is square cm for this question. Cm, so square cm. Okay, so with that, that's the end for Red Swastika 2023 P6. This is class test 2.